Hi guys, welcome to this tutorial on SQL for Data Analyst. In the last 9 tutorials, we've been laying the foundation for um, a data analyst course for those who want to become a data analyst. So we've looked at so many concepts and terminologies we need to understand as a data analyst, starting from who is a data analyst, what is data analysis, what is Rdbms, what is a database, what is a table, advantages and the benefit of learning SQL, and what is the connection between SQL and wanting to be a data analyst. We look at so many things, the different types of data that we have, what is data, types of data, and our focus types of data for this course as well. So we look at SQL CRUD operation, what we can use SQL to do. So we have laid the theoretical background before getting to this point. So today will be the very first lesson on the second phase of this tutorial, the hands-on session. So today will be the first hands-on session. So where we'll start learning how to write SQL. Because like I said in the intro for this course, I said there's no way you as a data analyst will want to do your job without being able to write SQL. So we divided the tutorial into two, the theoretical part, and now we are going into the hands-on part, the writing the SQL itself. But before we do that, before we start writing query, before I lay the foundation for you, the syntax that you need to understand, I I really want us to be in this together because I've seen so many SQL tutorial online, and you just find out that the instructor or the trainer start writing the SQL. Okay, so but you will appreciate it better or you'll be able to learn better if you are taking from how the database is created, what kind of database are we going to be using, how many records do we have in the database, are we focusing on one database or two. So that's what I'm trying to do here so that you can also take ownership of this as we go, as we continue. You can take ownership of the whole process. I don't just want to start writing SQL. I want you to understand um, how did we get here in the first place, not just to see me start writing SQL. So today, what I want us to look at is um, the database we are going to use to write our SQL, the database we are going to be analyzing, the RDBMS we are going to be using for this course, the tables we have in the database, and the kind of data we have. So for this course, we're going to be using Postgres SQL. Remember in some um, videos, like I think video 4 or 6, I showed you different kind of RDBMS that we have. Microsoft SQL Server, Netezza, DB2, Teradata, Oracle Developer, and so on and so forth. But the one I'm going to be using for this tutorial, SQL for Data Analyst, is called Postgres SQL. So Postgres SQL is, I'll show you real quick what I have. This is a Postgres SQL. You see what is here is PG admin 4. For every RDBMS, there's always a tool that will be used to interact with the server. You can see that I have the server here, and this whole tool, this whole interface is PG admin, is an administrative tool that we use to communicate with the server. Because inside this server is where we have our database and the table and the data we want to analyze. So this is PostgreSQL, and we are looking at pgadmin right now because that's the tool that provides the GUI we can use to communicate with the server. Okay, so before I show you what I have in the server, let's quickly go back to our focus for today. Okay, so we've been able to establish that we're going to be using PostgreSQL to learn how to write SQL. That's the RDBMS we're going to be using. Also, inside this RDBMS, I have a database called training data. So inside this one database called training data is where I have all the tables that we are going to be using. So the table we are going to be using, we have three tables that we are going to be using for our analysis. The first table is called employees. And inside this employees table, we have 1,000 employees. That is 1,000 records or 1,000 rows. I will show you what that means. Don't forget that my assumption for this course is that you don't know anything. If you already know this, you are looking for some kind of advanced concept like PL SQL or TL SQL, this course is not for you. This course is for beginners, those that want to become a data analyst and they need to know how to write SQL. So I'm going to assume that whoever is watching this, whoever is interested in this, is new to IT, does not have any prior knowledge in SQL. So I'm going to be repeating concept over and over again. It's just to make it stick because I know things like this can take time for people to understand it, especially those that don't have technical background. So I'm going to be repeating concepts as much as I can so that you can really stick. So inside the database, there are three tables. The first one is employees with 1,000 employees inside this table. The second table is department with 24 departments. The third table is regions with 7 regions inside it. So we are going to be querying these three tables. But 80% or 85% of our analysis is going to be carried out on this employees table that has 1,000 records. If you look at all other trainings that you see online to learn SQL, you see that most times you find like 200 or maybe max 300 records in the database. But with 1,000 records in this database, we'll be able to do a lot of analysis. We'll be able to come up with a lot of business questions, business requirements. Okay, so this is really going to be an end-to-end kind of training, kind of tutorial where you can, if you are serious about this, you are making out time, you'll be job ready at the end of this tutorial. Okay, so let me show you these three tables and the database that I have. I would like to add that this course is not to show us how to create a database or how to create a table. No. As a data analyst, your job is to query the table, to retrieve data. Okay, so you are not going to be designing a database or modeling a database. No, you are not going to be doing that. So you are not going to be creating anything like that, like a RDBMS object, maybe creating a database or a table. Okay, if you want to know more about that, there are so many resources online where you can learn database design and all other things that you want to know. But I want to make sure that I stay within the scope of this course, and that is data analysis with SQL. So we already have our database, we have the tables and the data inserted. All we want to do is to start analyzing the data we have because that's going to be your job as a data analyst. So let me show you these three tables that I have. Okay, so inside these servers, if I enlarge this, I have two servers. So inside the first server, I have three databases. If I enlarge this, I'm going to this training data. This is the one we want to use for this course. Training data. That's the database I created for this course. So if I expand this, you see that I have inside my schema, I have just one schema, which is public. And inside this schema, I have 9 tables. You can see I have 9 tables. If you don't know what a table is, what an RDBMS is, what a database is, please go back to the previous tutorials before you watch this. I don't want you to miss anything. The way to really learn this is to build on your previous knowledge. So if you don't know what I'm talking about here, if you've been following this tutorial, you will know what a table is, what a database is, and what a relation RDBMS is. Okay, so inside this database called training data, I have 9 tables, but we're going to be focusing on departments table, regions table, and employees table. Okay, so what do I have inside departments table? I have I have these columns. I have department and I have division inside departments table. Okay, so what do I have inside employees table? Let me see the number of columns. Okay, inside employees table, I have employee ID, first name, last name, email, hire date, department, gender, salary, and region ID. What do I have inside regions table? Inside regions table, I have region ID column, region column, and country column. So we'll be using this for this tutorial. And after showing you this, we are not going to come here for anything again. So where we'll be spending most of our time for this course is going to be on this training database that has all the tables we're going to be using. So highlighting this, I can go to tools and click on query tool so that this will open. You can see training data. So this is telling us that I'm on this server, which is PostgreSQL 11, and inside this server I'm on this database training data. Don't forget that inside the training data I have all my tables. Okay, so we have 3 tables here. The first table is employees. The second table that we have is departments and regions. So if I want to see what I have inside the employees table, don't worry, this is just to show you, this is like an high level overview of the PG admin tool and the database and tables that we have. I've not started actually showing you how to write the SQL, the syntax for the SQL. So still bear with me and follow along with me. So if I want to see all the data in this employees table, I can say select star from employees. You see, this is showing me what I have. So here I have employee ID and I have first name, last name, email, hire date, department, gender, salary, and region ID. Okay, so in the departments table, if I want to see everything, and here I have 1000 records. If you go down, you see I have 1000 records. Okay, so this in a table is called column or field. So employee ID column, first name column, last name column, email column, or you can say field, last name field. Okay, but if we are going this way, so column will come this way vertically, but horizontally we have row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. So row can also be called record. So this is the first record, that is employee ID 1. His first name is Barry, his last name is Manuel, his email is this, his hire date is this. So this is first record, second record. So first row, second row, or first record, second record. So why this is column or field. So here we have 1000 records or 1000 rows in employee. Okay, so if I want to see what I have in the departments table too, I'll say select star from departments. I will highlight this. And you see we have 24 rows. You can see it's showing you here. We have 24 rows. And if you count the number of rows, you see we have 24 rows. So that means we have 24 departments. Okay. So inside there we have two columns, department column and division column. And how many rows do we have? 24 rows. Okay. So the same way if I want to see everything inside regions table, I'll say select star from regions. In regions we have 7 rows. So you can see it here, 7 rows affected. And how many columns do we have? Region ID column, region column, and country column. Okay. So these are the three tables we're going to be analyzing, going to be dissecting what we have, going to be writing so many queries. So I will start from the very beginning for you. Don't worry about this if you don't understand it now. We have not started. I'm just showing you the database and the tables we're going to be using for this class. So just make sure that you make out time. What is the relationship, okay, that we have among these entity? Okay, we have three major entities. That is, I'm referring to the table now. Table 1, table 2, table 3. Do we have relationships among these three tables? So let me show you this entity relationship diagram. Okay, these are the tables I just showed you now. In regions table, we have two columns. We have three columns: region ID, region, and country. In employees table, we have employee ID, first name, last name, email, hire date, and all of this. And in department, we have two columns, department and division. Now, it's important for us to establish the relationship, okay, that we have among all these entities, among all these tables. And this is where we're going to start from in the next class. So we're going to look at the relationship that we have among these tables, okay. So make sure if you miss any of the previous tutorials, just look for them, have the right foundation before we go deep into this hands-on session. And if you don't want to miss any of the upcoming videos that I'm going to be uploading, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any of the videos. You can share this video with your friend. If you like it, don't forget to click on like. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.